place where I felt the most free. I felt like the shackles of normality had been removed and I was able to be truly myself. And my parents saw that in me at a very young age. There's something wrong with that boy, I'm telling you, there's something wrong with that kid. So they were very supportive and put me into a school where if you were artistic, it catered for the artistic need of the individual, and for that I'm incredibly grateful. And I did stuff in my local town, and I did some National Youth Theatre stuff. Yeah, it was performance and acting and music were my home. It felt like home for me. Yeah.
And what do you think, what is it about acting that is so freeing and cathartic? What do you think?
It's the search for the truth. It's the constant search for truth. I think that's why we all love art in general. When we pass a painting in a gallery, or we watch a movie, or we go see a play, or we listen to some music, and it speaks to us on a level that we have rarely encountered before. That is the artist telling the truth. And for me, that's the thing that I always am on the hunt for. And great artists go through incredible journeys to find the truth, and I'm enamored with that also.
And do you have any sort of acting technique? Are you a method actor, or what inspires you?
My process is growing and changing all the time. For Stranger Things, I really dug into more of the idea of method. My own method, it's not conscribed to any one idea of what it should be. For me, it was about living in the feeling of the character, drawing that up from inside of me, whether it be through personal experience or be through sort of taking what was on the page or imagination, and trying to be as honest as possible in that performance. And I'm sure that as time goes on, that will change and grow and develop into something new and something exciting. I'm always looking as an artist to push, as Nick Cave says, to push the sky away.
That's
so,
great. Yeah, I mean, add more tools. You know, the more tools, the better. And going back to your beginnings, your first big part was in Tim Burton's Sweeney Todd. But you can tell it's an iconic movie. How did you get it?
So, my mum was working in the music industry, and I was 17 years old, and I wanted to go to drama school. And I turned around to my parents and I said, look, I want to go to drama school, but I love music. And a family friend of ours said, go and meet this person called Simon and talk to him and tell him, what you think you want to do, and he'll guide you in the right direction. And I said, great. So I went to go meet Simon, and I said, this is what I've done. I sing and I act, and I want to go to drama school, but I don't know where. And he was like, well, these are the best schools for you to go to. Have a look at them. And I said, thank you, and went on my way. He calls me up a couple of weeks later, and he says that they're auditioning for this film, Sweeney Todd, and based on what you told me, I think it would be an enjoyable experience for you to go and try the audition process. And I thought, fantastic, that sounds great. And so I went and I met with Susie Figgis, the casting agent, and I sang and I read for her, and then the next thing I know, I'm singing in front of Tim Burton, and I'm singing in front of Stevie Sondheim, and then the next thing I know, I'm on the set. And it was, I have no idea why or how it happened, and for Tim and Susie's trust and support, I will be eternally grateful.
That's knocked it out of the park. Sweeney Todd.
I had no idea what I was doing. I literally had no clue what I was doing there or like how to do it. And I was just kind of being, existing. Very strange.
Did you get any cool advice from TV, for example?
I mean, I think, you know, I've been very fortunate that a lot of the directors and actors that I've worked with have been real artists. So to be in an environment where Tim is creating this universe and he's creating that with an amazing team of people, to be around such huge stars who understand that in order to make a great piece of art, it's a team effort, really solidified me at a very young and early age the knowledge that creating something is, like I say, a team effort. And it's not about one person, it's about all of us coming together to create and build a vision. And that is the message that has stuck with me for so long. I got to work with Alan Rickman, you know, it's like, you know, that's, yeah. That's Severus Snape, you know, and he was just, you know, even though he played these really, you know, sort of hateful figures, he was the most lovely and kind man, and so much so that I remember being at a rap party, and my mum and my godmother were there, and they just desperately wanted to meet Johnny Depp, and I was so embarrassed. I was so embarrassed. And so I'm introducing them to Mr. Depp, and then I'm like, oh, fuck, where's my dad? And I turn around and he's talking, Alan and my dad are like having this really lovely conversation. And that to me was just like so beautiful, because acting isn't about ego. Acting isn't about anything other than looking at what it means to be human, studying that, and then reflecting that in the most pure way that you can be. And that's what great actors do. So yeah, that's kind of what I love.
Talking about...
You really shouldn't clap me. I should clap you, thank you.
So, I bring you to two iconic franchises, Twilight.
I was originally asked, and I showed interest myself in being in the first film, and maybe playing Edward Cullen. I think we all agree I'm not Edward Cullen. You know, Rob did an amazing job of it, and they cast him perfectly for it. So when they were making the second film, they said, would you like to, you know, come back and look at the role of one of the bad guys? And I was like, of course, I'd love to come back, that would be amazing. So I went and I had a meeting for it, and it was great. And yeah, that's how it happened, yeah. I was just British and moving.
But it's always good to play the bad guy. I mean, bad guys have so much more flavor, don't you think?
Yeah, absolutely. I think for me as an actor, and for me as a viewer and as a reader, I tend to love characters that are tortured, and I like characters that have some trauma to them, and I think that with those characters that people deem as evil, I think often are the characters that are the most complex. And I love nothing more than discovering why they have become the way that they are. I've had great arguments with people and they just are like, oh, you know, acting is a waste of time. And I'm like, no, I do I have a darker side? I think one of the things for me about this idea of I think we often confuse the idea of darkness with the idea of evil. And for me, darkness is not evil, it's a necessity. There is no day without night, there is no heaven without hell. And for me, darkness is a place of stillness and of illuminating the truth. I spent a lot of my youth in chaos because I was so afraid. And when I discovered the darkness and when I discovered that peace, I found serenity and I found honesty. And so I like to talk about that because I like to remind myself of myself. And then of course, like in literature, I love the story at the moment of Dante's Inferno and this idea of journeying through the 9 circles of hell to, like I say, discover oneself. And it's quite biblical in a way, but I do think that there's something in there yet for me to find. And I'm constantly on that search. Yeah.
And talking about darkness, you play someone that's very dark, Vecna.
I like him too.
We spoke a little bit yesterday about him and the process of getting into his skin. But first of all, how was the audition process? Was it tough? Was it very confidential? Did you get the full brief of the characters? Did you get ready? How was that?
I got very little. I mean, you know, you and I spoke yesterday, and I'll say the same thing that I said yesterday about the process. But one thing that I didn't say is just how terrifying the process was. It started in December of. Is it okay? It started in.
There she goes.
It started in December of 2019 and it went all the way through to the end of January 2020. And obviously everything shuts down for Christmas. So I had sent off 2 audition takes before Christmas and then was like hounding people being like, has anyone said anything yet? Like really just like clawing the walls. And then I got a phone call. But so the process was, I was in Los Angeles with my brother and we were making some music and they sent an email through saying Stranger Things are casting, they'd love you to read. They don't have any material from the show, but what Carmen, who's the casting agent, Carmen Cuba, what they do have are some sides from Final Fear and Hellraiser. I said, Sam, or my brother's name, I said, Sam, drop everything, we're going back to my apartment and we're going to go and do this thing. So we went back to my apartment and we did these 2 sides, these 2 scenes rather, sent them off. And then we were getting on a plane, going back to London to see our family for Christmas. Another email comes in, they loved your first 2 takes, can you do this tomorrow? And I'm like, oh my god, yeah, of course. So we get off the plane, we go back to my mum and dad's house, and I'm like, okay, mum, dad, nice to see you, but sounds like you're doing something. Shut up, I'm going to do something. I didn't say shut up, I love my parents. And respect them. And so they were sides from the show, they were these dummy sides from the show, which was more to do with kind of what Vecna would end up becoming in terms of his character. Christmas happens, we're now in January, and I pulled up to go see Matt and Ross, so I fly back to Los Angeles. And by this point, my mind has been ticking, I'm sort of been thinking about the job. Everything felt really right, but I felt like I had to do some more. So I made this sort of move forward of the character and the world of Stranger Things. So I had a picture of Will Byers and Millie and the rest of the kids in the middle. Yeah, let's show those guys some love. And then sort of sprawling out a bit, I had the mind flare of the upside down, and then on the outside printed it all out, put it in a book, went to my meeting with Matt Ross. They were like, they basically, I think by that point, they sort of decided that it was going to be me. I had no idea it was going to be me. So I thought I was still kind of auditioning. And they sort of were telling me about the character, and at the end of the meeting I was like, look, can I show you my book? They said yes, and then they said, this is perfect. They sort of went off into another room and then came back, and they had these amazing 3D renders of what Vecna was going to look like. And at that point they were like, it's going to be a long time in makeup, are you ready for this? And I was like, gentlemen, I'm so honoured to do this, it would be my pleasure. So that was the process.
And then you jump onto the set. And how do you feel like for you that you were a fan of the show to join the cast in season 4 when the show is so successful, so established, everyone's a star? How do you feel?
Terrified. Absolutely terrified. I was so nervous when we went for that first read-through in March of 2020. I have them with me now. I tend to sort of carry crystals with me wherever I go. And I sort of had them like sat here next to my script as like the microphone's here and Millie Bobby Brown is there, and you know oh my god, this is insane. And I've got Nicola who plays Yuri on one side, you know, like he's trying to steal my crystals, and I've got Matthew Modine on the other. Crazy, but everyone was so kind and so nice. And then came the test for Vecna, you know, it was, I think Matt and Ross had spent so much time wanting this character to be a real person. You know, they love 80s horror genre movies, and so they were like, we want this person to be a real person. So of course they'd asked me to like work on the plot. The voice was kind of written into the script. It was like this dark, booming voice comes out of nowhere. And I was like, fuck, I have to work on that. So we have this test, and like it's in the attic, which was one of the first sets that they built, which is where Vecna lives. And there's this lovely member of the crew there who's got a mask on, and I'm sort of, you know, like being Vecna, and they're like, can you talk? And I was like, yeah. And it was at that point that like I felt there was an immense amount of fear, but then all of a sudden it was like, just jump and let it go, and it happened, and it was magic, and I think there was just like this collective sigh of relief. It was like, costume works, voice is working, looks amazing on camera, team is badass, like it was just like, this is cool, good to go, and they were so pleased.
And that was amazing. And actually, yesterday we spoke a little bit how long it took to get into the character. We saw some footage, but since you mentioned your voice, what is the trick behind the voice? Because I thought a lot of it was audio post-production, but doing some research, a lot of it is you, and you sort of came up with that voice. How was that process?
Well, the process is, I think, you know, I spoke about this idea of darkness and this idea of stillness, and I think one of the things that I took from the script was, you know, Vecna's not chaotic. He's very chosen in his movements and in his killings and his decisions. And so with that, there sort of comes this level of sort of relaxation, and often when I'm very relaxed, my voice tends to get deeper anyway. And so it started, when I first started doing it, I was so tense, and I was doing this, you know, and I'm having weird consequences, I was like, no, that's not working at all. And then I started to breathe properly, and feel myself in my diaphragm, and allow the air to move through my body, and then become more chosen with my movements, and I was like, yeah, this is starting to feel really cool. And then of course at the building, 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 and then relaxing, 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 and it just happens.
That's so great. Actually, you just mentioned how intimidating the character is. We're going to watch a scene from the show where we can see how bad Vecna can be. ¿Podemos ver el take de la pelea con Guillermo, señor director? Yes, there is makeup, there is a lot of this in the fights, and this in the fights, and this. How do you make all that believable, and how do you interact with the CGI and the blue screens and everything that's going on?
Yeah, how to make that believable? Imagination, I think, is the key. I think feeling. I mean, it was weird, like making a show and playing this character. I like fully believe in what I'm doing. You know, there's never a moment where I'm like, this is fucking stupid. I'm like, oh, badass now, like, and it's just it's you know having co-stars like Millie and like Mercedes who are who are also so in it and like really believe in it. So much so that like I think for Millie to watch me as one doing the hand thing, I think for her, it was really difficult because she's like, whoa, that's my thing, right? You know, like, you won't be as powerful as me. And I'm like, oh, I am. Yeah, exactly. So, you know, I think it's that childlike, it's very childlike, you know, it's just full immersion into the world of imagination. And then, you know, with things like the spikes that come off from the floorboards, you know, I think just the idea when you read down the page, it's like Vecna lifts his arms and the shards of broken wood, you're just like, oh my god, like, I live for this shit, like, I love this. So, yeah, you just kind of roll with it. I mean, a lot of what we do, you know, is very practical. With a bit of distortion and tiny bit of octagon on it, and then with Vecna, you know, it's like pretty much real. The lines are moving, and it's beautiful, and that's amazing. But like, you know, seeing somebody being thrown around, there's a real person being thrown around. So when you watch somebody get like messed up, you're like, oh, that person's getting messed up. Like, this is me doing that.
Are you talking to the extra actors for it? Are you talking to the other actors that are flying around like you said? I'm like, I apologize.
Not often. No. Because there's this great thing, I think, you know, like, particularly with Eleven and with Vecna or Eleven and Henry, you know, it's that constant thing of like, we're trying to outdo one another, and I think that there's a level of competition there that is fun, you know, again, it's very childlike, and, you know, I mean, to be fair though, you know, like, we do always look out for one another, you know, if somebody's pushing themselves too far to the point of being hurt, I'm always the first person to go in, I'm like, alright, you gotta stop, like, I don't want you to get hurt, I want everyone to be safe, and I think that goes for all of us as a team. I think everyone's just always looking after one another, but when it comes to acting, it's like, let's go, like, let's get in, it's great.
And so, you know, there's actually a theory, a fan theory that says that Vecna is in all four seasons. Have you heard that theory?
Yeah, of course. There's the sort of the outline of Vecna when Will goes missing in season 1, right?
Yeah, when Will goes missing, we hear the clock.
Yeah.
And then when Lily gets kidnapped, also disappears, we also listen to the clock.
Yeah.
And then the spider-like monster that, you know, the kids fight in season 3,
Yeah.
you know, they are spiders, and we know that Henry has a fascination for spiders.
Yeah.
So people say that it's actually Vecna trying to scare them so he can feed from the kids' fear and become as strong as he is in season 4. Season 4 is straight to attack.
Yeah.
Have you heard that theory?
Yeah.
And what do you think of it?
I think it's right.
It's right?
I think so. I mean, look, you have to ask Matt and Ross, but I think, you know, we see Henry when he's set into the Upside Down, creating the line where, you know, he's there with his hand out, the clouds are coming together, there's a spider being drawn. I think if you watch the way Billy talks in season 3, after he's been possessed, his language is very similar to Henry's. And I always thought that Vecna or Henry was the beginnings of everything. And I've mentioned this in interviews before when people have said, oh, well, what would you like to see in season 5? And I think that there's unfinished business between Vecna and Will. Yeah, that's what I think. That's what I really think, yeah.
I was actually going to ask you about season 5. Of course, we can't give any spoilers, but was it shot all together? You guys were on set in season 4 and season 5. Do you guys have a break? And what can we expect, more or less? What can you say?
You're so sweet and kind. You're so polite. So we haven't started shooting season 5 yet. We start next year. We'll start shooting season 5. And I saw Matt and Ross like a month ago in Los Angeles. They're writing. They seem incredibly happy with what they're doing. I have got nothing that I can tell you at all, apart from they're really excited. And I think that if season 4 was anything to go by, season 5 is going to be so explosive, so expansive, so... I think we're going to see some amazing stuff in season 5. I'm really, really looking forward to it. And I know you guys are too, so hang in there.
We're all anxious for season 5. Are you anxious to get back on set?
I cannot wait to get back on set. This is, look, every job that I do is a blessing and it's amazing, but I'm going to be really honest with you. I love this series. I love this cast. I love this job. It is the best thing in the world, and I cannot wait to be back with my friends making something that just is so fucking cool. It's
Well, since you mentioned your friends and going backstage, let's take a little look at what happened backstage. Come over here backstage, señor director. That's amazing. How long did it take you to do the scene where Vecna gets transported to the upside down world and he falls?
So one thing that I wish we'd been able to show everyone is that day we had sort of 3 different ways of making that happen. And one of them was, I'm going to try and explain this, and I'm going to use this as a So there's this like really long pole, and at the end of the pole there's like this circular ring. And I would sit in the middle of the ring, and I could spin this way, I could spin this way, I could spin this way, and I could do all of this. One of our stunt boys was meant to do the thing. I love doing stunts, but sometimes they're like, hey, you can't do them, whatever. I'm expecting, I'll be called in after lunch, and I get a knock on my door an hour into filming. And I'm like, hello, come on in. And they're like, bad news. The stunt guy got really seasick from doing this thing. So it's your turn. You have to do this for the rest of the day. And I was like, yes. I can't wait. This is going to be something fun. And it was awesome. So we had one that was on that rig like that. We had one that was just straight up wire, just for the backflip. And there was another iteration of it too. That it was the same kind of rig, but it just went backwards and forwards. And so that was a day that we took to kind of do the falling through, sort of, like into the upside down, as it were. And then there was another great day where in the same location, they had built this set where Henry's walking up to create a mind flayer, and it's all like the rocks, and there's like pools of water, and I went to sort of see a Demogorgon. And then I stand at the top and I put my hand up and I create this thing. That was another day, and then of course there's the scene, episode 7, where Henry is sort of sent into the beginnings of that, and that whole kind of monologue took about 3 days to shoot. So all in all, it was about a week's worth of work. You know? Ooh, sorry. Sorry, sound guys.
Chicos, nos vamos a mover un pasitito para atrás, que sé que están un poco apretados, están diciendo que hay algunas personas que no sienten del todo bien. Un pasito para atrás, ¿puedo pedirles? Seguimos con la entrevista. Muchas gracias. So, going back, how did you feel after shooting all the stunts and doing the monologue for 3 days? When you go back to the hotel, are you knocked out? Are you ready to do more? How is it like?
It's a sort of combination of the two, I think. It's that there's always, for me, there's always a level of adrenaline that's still in there. There's this like, oh my God, I loved it, this was awesome, this was so much fun. But there is also like a real fatigue because I try to, as much as possible, just leave it all out on the field. Just like, and give it all away. So I would often, take a couple of days after shooting. I'd just like lie in bed and order pizza and just be there like feeding myself and watching shitty TV shows. So yeah, it tended to be a couple of days work, just after the actual work itself. And obviously with Vecna taking so long to put on, I would only be able to do sort of 1 day on, and then I'd have to have a day off. So, that allowed me some time to recoup, yeah.
That's so cool. And you mentioned being the new guy on set and how intimidating that was. There's another new guy on set in season 4 that you become very good friends, or so it seems online, which is Joseph Quinn. I have to ask, because we have many Joseph fans here. How is your relationship with him?
Let's hear it for Joseph Quinn. He'll be able to feel that love all the way in England, I know he will. It was great. I mean, Joe and I met at the read-through in the March of 2020, and, two newcomers, both British. We just kind of supported one another in an experience that, it doesn't happen very often. Obviously, we didn't get to work together, but we would go for dinner and we would talk to each other on the phone and just check in with one another. And, there was a sort of instant chemistry that happened between us. And, now having done the show and going on the press tour, we've become really, really close still. And it's lovely. I am very grateful to have a friend in Joe, and he's a great guy. He's a lovely guy.
That's great. Obviously, with the success of Stranger Things and Vecna, I was wondering yesterday, and I didn't get to ask this question to you. Are you aware that Vecna is going to be forever as one of the villains in film and TV history, like next to Pennywise and Jason? And are you aware of that? And how do you feel when you think of that?
I mean, look, I don't know how to feel about that, and I don't know if I do, because I think for me, Vecna and whatever job that I do, it's a team effort, right? So I did not, it could have been anyone. It could have been anyone. I'm lucky that it was me. So I don't often tend to sort of sit back and go, horror legend, don't make a big deal out of it. I'm just like, this is so cool. Like, he's a really, really cool character, and what Matt and Ross did create, I think, is really, really amazing. And I'm just grateful to be a small part of that. I really am. It's a real blessing, and if anything, I'm just glad that it worked. I'm glad that Vecna seems to have worked, because there was a real fear. There was a fear that it wouldn't. So yeah.
But you made it. What is next for you? I know you got a movie coming out. It's a horror movie.
Yeah, I have a film coming out sometime next year with Trilogy. I just finished working with Kevin Costner.
Wow.
I know. Western movie, a Western saga he's created called Horizon, which is unbelievable. It's so cool. I was fortunate enough to watch about 10 minutes of a sizzle reel of the film itself, and you know, I was born in 1988. Kevin Costner to me is like Mr. Waterworld and like Robin Hood, and so like Kevin and I, we worked together in the film as well as him being the director, and so I'm stood there trying to be this like badass Western dude, looking at Kevin being like, oh my God, it's Waterworld, I love you. And it was amazing. The film looks incredible. You know, if you like Westerns and you're into kind of old John Ford movies, I think Eastwood films, you know, those films were made at a certain time, right? This film, the way the images have been captured with the technology that we have now, it just looks fucking amazing. I'm sorry for that I keep swearing, but it really looks amazing. And so I'm really excited about that. And it's got an incredible cast of Sienna, Sam Worthington, you know, just like amazing, Michael Rooker, you know, just like amazing actors. And I think everyone's gonna love it. And the fact that Kevin is behind it, you know, he's such a sensitive soul. He's really sensitive, and I think that, you know, a lot of the film, you know, is very much focused on sort of central female characters, which I think is really important. You know, for a lot of time, I think that world has been very male-dominated. So to have lots of beautiful central key female characters, you know, explaining their story, we laugh. But the same thing with, you know, with the indigenous population of America, the native population of America. It tells the most beautiful side of that story, which often in Westerns is totally overlooked, and in history, totally overlooked, particularly in white European history. So it's really cool, really special. I'm really excited for everyone to see it.
I need to ask this. Is there any part that you would die for or kill for? I mean, like something that you say in movie history, or a general, and you say, I want to do this or like that. Does that exist for you?
There is, it's not a part. I have a story that I want to tell, and I'm cautious to talk too much about it, but I have a story that I want to tell that is not set in this time, but ultimately what it is saying is, in our greatest moments of tragedy, we find our greatest power and our greatest strength and a sense of identity. And a lot of the film is about identity, and so that's the story that I want to tell, and I'm working on making that a reality with some incredible artists, and I'm very excited about it.
We'll have you here talking about this project.
I would love to, yeah. We're working behind the scenes, and things like this take time, particularly, you know, for a young person such as myself, so we're gradually building it every day.
Wow, that's so cool. And unfortunately, we're running out of time. Oh no! I do want to. I know, I love this. So sorry. I wish we could stay longer, but I always like to finish around with the same question. I'm pretty sure there's a lot of young actors and actresses listening to us right now. You have any tips for them?
Yeah, I'll say the same thing that I said yesterday, because not only is it good, I think, to say, I think it's also good for me to hear. So, you know, if you are doing anything creative and you want to follow your own path, which I would thoroughly suggest everyone to do, follow your own path, understand the fact that no matter who has come before you, no matter who you look up to, your path will be different, and there will be challenges, and there will be days, and there will be weeks, and there will be times where you think, I'm so shit at this, or this is not working for me. But ultimately, I promise you, that if you persevere through the bad times, on the other side of that is the most beautiful thing that you never, ever thought was possible, and it's waiting for you. So please go and get it. Go and do it. Follow your dream.